10 hidden signs someone is rich, but hides it. What if I told you the richest person in your neighborhood doesn't look rich at all? That the guy driving the 10-year-old Honda making more money than everyone driving new BMWs combined? That real wealth hides in plain sight, while fake wealth screams for attention? You're sitting in a coffee shop. The person next to you could buy the entire building, but you'd never know. They're wearing normal clothes, drinking regular coffee, and checking email on an old laptop. Meanwhile, the person at the corner table is loudly discussing their new luxury car lease and designer watch. Broke but performing wealth. One is actually rich, the other is pretending. Most people can't tell the difference. We've been taught that wealth is loud, that success needs to be visible to be real. But here's the truth. Real wealth whispers. Fake wealth screams. The truly wealthy don't need anyone to know. The pretenders need everyone to know. If you're tired of the performance and want to understand what real wealth actually looks like, hit subscribe and type invisible below. Because what comes first will completely change how you see wealth. Sign 1. They're deliberately invisible. Don't need to impress anyone. Most people think wealth means being noticed. Designer logos, luxury cars, Instagram posts. If nobody sees your success, does it even count? This thinking keeps people trapped in performance mode, spending money they don't have to impress people who don't care. Meanwhile, actual wealthy people are terrified of being noticed. Real wealthy people fear attention because visibility invites problems, expectations from others, jealousy and resentment, requests for money, pressure to maintain an expensive image. Every eye on you costs you money and peace. The more people know you're wealthy, the more expensive your life becomes. The richest person in the room is the one you don't recognize. They drive normal cars, wear simple clothes, speak quietly, and blend into the background. Not because they're pretending to be poor, because anonymity is protection. Visibility is vulnerability. When you look wealthy, strangers form expectations. Friends expect you to pay. Family expects loans. Neighbors expect your house to match. Coworkers expect expensive gifts. Each expectation costs hundreds to thousands yearly. Fake wealthy people are like peacocks screaming, "Look at my feathers," hoping everyone notices. Real wealthy people are like chameleons, thinking, "Please don't notice me. I just want to live in peace." Peacocks get photographed and hunted. Chameleons survive and thrive. The real wealthy deliberately cultivate an average appearance, shop at normal stores, drive reliable cars, live in normal neighborhoods. Not because I can't afford luxury, because luxury attracts attention and attention destroys wealth. They understand the best security system is nobody knowing there's anything worth securing. Practice wealth invisibility for 30 days. Remove all visible wealth signals. No brand logos on clothes. No luxury items visible to others. No posts about purchases or success. No mentions of income or investments. Notice how it feels to be financially successful but have nobody know. Track changes. Do fewer people ask for money? Fewer expectations? Less pressure? More peace? A millionaire drove a 12-year-old Camry, wore normal clothes, and lived in a modest house. Nobody knew he had wealth. Servers at restaurants treated him dismissively. Salespeople ignored him. People assumed he was struggling, never corrected them, never felt the need to prove anything. When asked why not buy a luxury car, he replied, "I could, but then everyone would know I have money. Then my life becomes more expensive and more complicated. This way I'm invisible and free." His friend made a similar income, drove a leased BMW, wore designer everything, and posted a lifestyle constantly. Everyone knew he was successful. Reality: BMW lease bankrupting him, designer clothes on credit cards, constant stress maintaining image, couldn't say no without looking cheap, trapped by the image he created. Visibility is an expense disguised as success. Invisibility is success disguised as normal. Choose invisibility, keep your money and your peace. Sign 2. They buy time, not luxury. People think the wealthy buy luxury goods. Expensive cars, watches, designer clothes, fancy restaurants. That's what middle-class people buy when they get money. That's performed wealth. The really wealthy don't buy luxury to show off. They buy time, because time is the only asset you can't make more of. Real wealthy people hire a house cleaner, meal prep service, virtual assistant, accountant, and landscaper. Anything that frees up their time. They're not buying convenience because they're lazy. They're buying hours back that they can use to create more value or simply enjoy life. If your time is worth $200 per hour, why would you spend 3 hours cleaning house? Pay someone $50 per hour to clean, $150 total. Use those 3 hours to make $600 or rest properly. That's $450 net gain, plus better use of your energy. Poor people try to save $150 by doing it themselves. Rich people understand the $450 opportunity cost. The middle class buys a BMW to feel successful. Actually wealthy buy a house cleaner so they don't waste Saturdays scrubbing toilets. The middle class posts the BMW on Instagram. Actually wealthy people post nothing and use the free Saturday to make more money or actually relax. One bought attention, others bought time. Attention depreciates immediately. Time compounds forever. The really wealthy don't buy luxury goods for status. Don't buy expensive cars to impress neighbors. Don't buy designer clothes to signal wealth. All those purchases buy attention, not value. They'll pay a premium for quality that saves time or lasts forever, but they won't pay for a logo or status signal. Before any purchase, the real wealthy ask, does this buy me time or cost me time? A house in an expensive area far from work costs you 2 hours daily commuting. That's time you can't buy back. A house in a normal area near work buys you 2 hours daily. That's time to exercise, think, build, or rest. Once you have money, your goal isn't more money, it's more time. Money is a tool to buy time. Time is a tool to buy freedom. Freedom is the goal. But most people spend money on things that consume time instead of buying time back. That's backwards. Track 1 full week. Every hour, what did you do? Identify time sinks. House cleaning, cooking, yard work, errands, and administrative tasks. Calculate opportunity cost. Your time is worth X dollars per hour. Compare to the outsourcing cost. House cleaner, $100 for 3 hours of your time, or $300 equals $200 net gain. Start with the highest return on investment time purchase. Poor people save money by spending time. Rich people buy time by spending money. Time is finite and valuable. Money is infinite and renewable. Trade renewable for finite and win. Sign 3. They wait instead of buying immediately. Mastering emotional spending. See something you want, buy it immediately. That's how most people operate. See nice car, lease it. See an expensive watch, finance it. See a trendy restaurant and go there constantly. Immediate gratification is the default mode, but every immediate purchase is an emotional decision, not a logical one. And emotional decisions with money keep you broke forever. Really wealthy people never hit buy now. They wait, observe, evaluate, not because they can't afford it, because they understand emotions cost more than items. The desire to buy fades within 72 hours for most things. If you wait, the emotional charge dissipates, and you realize you didn't actually need it. That's money saved without any feeling of deprivation. They see something they think they want. Wait a minimum of 30 days before buying. During that month, research if actually needed or just wanted. Compare prices and find better deals. Let emotional attachment fade. Often forget about the item completely, proving it wasn't important. Retail companies know you're an emotional buyer. That's why sales are today only, and offers expire at midnight. They're creating urgency so you buy before emotions fade and logic appears. They know if you wait 24 hours, you probably won't buy. Their entire business model is exploiting your emotional impulsiveness. Real wealth understands this game and refuses to play. They wait deliberately, and they win. This habit isn't just about saving money. It trains clarity. Every time you wait instead of buying immediately, you're building the muscle of delayed gratification. That muscle is what separates the wealthy from the broke. The ability to delay purchase today for a better outcome tomorrow is the single best predictor of wealth building. Once you start waiting, you realize 80% of things you wanted to buy you don't actually want 30 days later. Most urgent deals aren't actually good deals. Real deals don't pressure you. Emotional attachment to objects is temporary, but financial damage is permanent. Real wealth isn't fooled by 70% off sales. They ask, 70% off what? The original price was probably inflated. Do I actually need this, or am I buying because sale? Saving 70% on something unnecessary is losing 30% of the money. Someone was an impulse buyer. Saw a nice jacket, bought it immediately $300. Saw a new phone, bought it immediately for $1,200. Total impulse purchases over the year, $47,000. After a year, I wore the jacket twice. The new phone is no better than the old phone. 60% of spending was emotional waste. Friend implemented the 30-day rule on everything over $100. Saw the same jacket, waited 30 days, desire faded, didn't buy, saved $300. Over the same year, I saved $23,000 compared to what I would have spent impulsively. Every immediate purchase is an emotional decision. Every delayed purchase is a logical decision. Emotions keep you broke. Logic builds wealth. Wait 30 days. If you still want it, maybe it's worth buying. Usually, you've forgotten about it, proving it never mattered. Sign 4. They live below their means, not because cheap, but because smart. Most people buy the biggest house they can get approved for. Maximum mortgage, maximum payment, maximum financial stress. Banks approve you for an amount that puts you on the edge of affordability, then you spend 30 years stressed about payments. That's not homeownership, that's voluntary financial prison. Really wealthy people never buy the biggest house they can afford. They could buy a house twice the size, but they don't. They buy a comfortable house well below their means and invest the difference. Because they understand, big house equals big problems. More space means more furniture needed, more maintenance required, more utilities consumed, higher property taxes paid, and more insurance costs. Every extra square foot is a monthly expense that never stops. The middle class sees the house as a status symbol and a measure of success. The real wealthy see a house as an expense that better be worth it. A house doesn't make you money. It costs you money constantly. The bigger it is, the more it costs. People buy a 4,000 square foot house for 2 people because they need space. No, you don't. You need 1,200 square feet max. The other 2,800 square feet exist so you can tell people you have a 4,000 square foot house. You're paying $800 more monthly in mortgage, utilities, taxes, and maintenance for 2,800 square feet you barely use. Meanwhile, a real wealthy person lives in a 1,500 square foot house they could buy 10 times over, invests that $800 monthly, and retires 10 years earlier. The house should serve you. Don't serve the house. If house payment stresses you, the house is too expensive. If house maintenance consumes your weekends, the house is too big. Right house, comfortable, affordable, convenient, requires minimal maintenance, and frees up money for investments. Wrong house, impressive, stretches the budget, far from work, requires constant maintenance, and consumes all extra money. When you live below your means in housing, everything else becomes easier. No payment stress, more money to invest, geographic flexibility if job changes, option to take career risks because housing cost isn't crushing you. Your neighbors bought a bigger house, so you feel pressure to upgrade. Stop. Those neighbors are probably financially stressed, even if they hide it well. Couple approved for $1,000 house, bought $550,000 because needed space. House payment is 26.5% of gross income, felt house poor constantly. After 10 years, spent $464,000, total cost. Equity $175,000, net negative $289,000 sunk into housing. Another couple approved for $600,000, bought a $300,000 house well below the approval. House payment is 15% of income. Lived comfortably in a smaller house, invested $1,750 monthly difference. After 10 years, housing cost $255,000, but invested $285,000, total wealth $380,000. A house should be a comfortable home, not a status symbol prison. Buy a house that serves your freedom, not a house that impresses neighbors who don't pay your mortgage. Sign 5. They follow the 3E rule. Never discuss earnings, expenses, or excess. People love talking about money. How much do they make? How much do they spend? How much stuff do they have? Every conversation about money is an invitation for problems. Judgment from people who make less. Expectations from people who want some. Comparison that creates resentment. Nothing good comes from broadcasting your financial situation. The real wealthy avoid discussing 3 things: earnings, expenses, and excess. Earnings: never reveal salary, bonuses, investment returns, or income. Expenses: never brag about how much something costs or share prices. Excess: never show off abundance or discuss having more than enough. The moment people know what you make, they calculate what you should do with it. Form expectations about your spending. Make judgments about your choices. Start asking for loans. Your income is nobody's business except yours. When you tell people how much things cost, you're either bragging if expensive or complaining if cheap. Both are bad. Bragging makes you look insecure. Complaining makes you look cheap. Just don't discuss what things cost. Talking about having more than enough invites requests and expectations. Oh, you have extra? Can you help me with X? The moment people think you have excess, they feel entitled to some of it. A person who constantly mentions their expensive purchases is either insecure and needs validation, or has just bought something they couldn't afford and is trying to justify it. A person who never mentions prices is either actually wealthy and doesn't need your approval, or smart enough to keep finances private. Silence about money is a sign of intelligence. Loudness about money is a sign of insecurity. When someone asks how much you make, deflect. I do okay? Or enough to cover bills. When someone asks how much something costs, deflect. Got a good deal, or don't remember exactly. Never give actual numbers. Keep it vague and move the conversation to other topics. Someone openly discussed their income, recent bonus, how much the house costs, and vacation spending. Result: brother asked for $1,000 loan, sister asked for help with the down payment, co-workers became resentful, constant requests, and judgment. After 2 years, gave or lent $18,000, never repaid, spent $12,000 on social pressure purchases, damaged relationships. A friend made a similar income, never discussed finances with anyone, and deflected all money questions. Result: 0 requests for money, 0 pressure, 0 resentment, maintained boundaries, all relationships stayed healthy. People who talk about money usually have less of it. People who never mention money usually have more of it. Silence about finances is protection. Openness about finances is an invitation to problems. Sign 6. They're cheap on small things, generous on big things. Most people have it backwards. They'll spend 10 minutes comparing prices on a $15 phone charger, then drop $30,000 on a car without research. They'll use coupons at the grocery store, then finance a $70,000 kitchen renovation without shopping around. Small purchases get scrutiny. Big purchases require emotional decisions. That backwards thinking keeps people broke forever. The really wealthy will absolutely spend time saving $5 on a recurring small purchase. Because $5 monthly for 30 years is $1,800. But they'll immediately spend $15,000 fixing the roof, because protecting the asset is an investment, not an expense. They understand difference between want and need deeply. Small repeated wants destroy wealth. Big necessary needs protect wealth. Coffee at $5 daily is $1,800 yearly. $1,800 invested at 8% for 30 years is $200,000. That coffee isn't $5, it's $200,000. Streaming services at $60 monthly nobody watches is $720 yearly. Over 30 years invested, that's $244,000. Small recurring expenses compound negatively. Roof leaking. Fix it now, before the $1,000 problem becomes a $50,000 problem. Car breaking down constantly. Repair or replace before you're stranded. Big necessary expenses can't be delayed because delay multiplies the cost. A person will argue with the cashier about a 50-cent coupon not scanning, then go home and pay $180 monthly for cable channels they never watch. They'll search for free parking for 20 minutes to save $5, then lease a dollar car they can't afford. They're frugal on things that don't matter and reckless on things that do. Before any purchase, the real wealthy ask, is this a want or a need? If I want, can I delay or eliminate? If needed, what's the cost of delay? Coffee is want. Roof repair is needed. Subscription service is want. Health insurance is needed. A new car is wanted. Reliable transportation is needed. The person was frugal, spent 30 minutes finding the cheapest gas, used coupons obsessively, and never spent on a house cleaner. But carried $12,000 credit card debt at 22%, drove an unreliable car that broke down constantly, and delayed home maintenance until small problems became big. Saved maybe $400 yearly on small stuff, lost $13,600 yearly on big stuff. Friends spent freely on small conveniences. Coffee shop sometimes, hired a house cleaner, didn't stress about coupons. But zero credit card debt, bought a reliable used car, maintained home proactively. Spent maybe $1,200 more yearly on small conveniences, saved $13,600 yearly on big decisions. Be cheap where it doesn't matter, so you can be generous where it does. Small, repeated wants destroy wealth. Big, necessary investments protect wealth. Sign 7. They drive old cars, but have new portfolios. A car is the biggest wealth destroyer in America after housing. The average new car costs $45,000. The average car payment is $700 a month for 6 years. That's $50,000 total with interest. Money disappears into a depreciating asset that loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. Meanwhile, that $700 monthly investment becomes $143,000 in 10 years. They traded $143,000 of future wealth for a car that's worth $12,000 after 10 years. That's not transportation, that's financial suicide. Really wealthy people drive a 10-year-old Honda or Toyota paid off years ago. No payment. Minimal depreciation remaining. Reliable transportation frees them up to invest 700 months that the car payment would cost. That 700 becomes 143,000 in 10 years, 304,000 in 20 years. Their old car is actually generating hundreds of thousands of dollars, not wasted. People buy a car they can't afford because the car is a visible status symbol. Everyone sees your car. Nobody sees your portfolio. So people optimize for visible status over invisible wealth. They drive a $60,000 car while having $3,000 in savings. They look successful, but they are broke. Real wealthy people drive a $12,000 car while having $600,000 invested. They look average and they are free. A person driving a new $70,000 BMW on lease is advertising to everyone, I make poor financial decisions and need your validation. The person driving a 15-year-old Camry might own the building you're both parked at. BMW person needs you to think they're successful. A Camry person doesn't need you to think anything. A BMW person will work until they die looking successful. A Camry person will retire early, looking average. Once the car is paid off and reliable, every month you don't buy a new car is a month you're saving $700 plus. That's $8,400 yearly you keep instead of giving to the bank and depreciation. Someone making $95,000 bought a new $52,000 SUV. Payment is $780 monthly. After 6 years, paid $72,000 total, car worth $22,000, lost $34,000, had zero invested. A friend who made $92,000 bought 1,000 used Hondas. Paid cash. Drove it for 10 years without payment. Invested the $890 monthly savings. After 10 years, spent $24,000 total, had $148,000 invested. Net position. Paid $24,000 for transportation, plus built $148,000 wealth. The first person spent $72,000 to lose $34,000 and has zero invested. A new car is a depreciating liability that looks like success. An old paid-off car is a compounding asset that looks average. Looking successful in a car keeps you broke. Looking average in a car makes you wealthy. Choose wealth over appearances. Sign 8. They compare up, not down. Staying humble. Most people compare themselves to those below them financially. Make $60,000 compared to those making $40,000, feel successful. Having $100,000 saved compared to those with zero, feel wealthy. This comparison creates complacency and stops growth. You think you've arrived when you've barely started. Comparing down makes you feel good temporarily, but keeps you mediocre permanently. Really wealthy people always look at people ahead of them. Have 100 million, look at people with 500 million, feel small and motivated. This comparison keeps them humble, hungry, and focused on growth. They never feel rich enough to stop pushing. That's not neurotic. That's strategic. Complacency kills wealth building. Humility and hunger build it. The moment you think, I've made it, is the moment you stop behaviors that got you there. Start spending more, saving less, taking success for granted, and inflating lifestyle. That mindset prevents reaching the next level. A person with 1 million compared to people with zero thinks, I'm rich, I've made it, I deserve to relax. Starts spending more, stops pushing, stays at 1 million forever. A person with 1 million compared to people with 100 million thinks, I'm broke, I need to work harder. Keeps grinding. 10 years later has 15 million. While the second person still has 1 million, lifestyle inflated into feels poor. Comparing down killed the first person's wealth. Comparing with up built up second person. This doesn't mean never appreciate what you have. Appreciate progress. Be grateful for the current position. But don't let gratitude become complacency. Appreciate that you have 100,000 more than zero. But recognize you have 900,000 less than 1 million. Both can be true. Gratitude for the past, hunger for the future. Comparing up prevents lifestyle inflation, complacency, arrogance, and stopping too early. It keeps you sharp when success makes others dull. Surround yourself with people slightly ahead of you financially. If you're trying to save the first 100,000, hang with people who have 250,000. Their normal becomes your goal. Their habits become your habits. You naturally rise to the level of the people you spend time with. Someone reached 200,000 at age 38, felt successful, compared to friends with 20,000 thought I'm doing great, started relaxing. At age 48, I had 380,000. A friend reached 200,000 at age 38, compared to people with 1 million plus who felt behind, kept grinding. At age 48, I had 920,000. Compare down and feel successful while staying mediocre. Compare up and feel inadequate while becoming exceptional. Choose uncomfortable growth over comfortable stagnation. Sign 9. They're calm about money, never stressed or bragging. Fake wealthy people talk about money constantly. Complain about prices, brag about deals, discuss purchases, stress about bills. Money is an emotional topic, causing stress, excitement, anxiety, and pride. Really wealthy people never mention money because money isn't emotional for them anymore. It's just a tool that works quietly in the background. The calmness around money is the clearest sign someone actually has it. Gas prices jump? The real wealthy don't notice or care. Inflation hits? They adjust without drama. Stock market crashes? They stay invested without panic. Major purchase needed? They handle it quietly without stress. Money is no longer a source of anxiety or pride. It's just a resource they manage like any other. That emotional neutrality is what financial security actually looks like. People without money talk about money constantly because it's a constant source of stress and obsession. They complain about prices because prices hurt them. They brag about deals because deals feel like victories. They discuss purchases because purchases are major decisions that consume mental energy. All that noise is anxiety manifesting. The really wealthy are quiet because money stopped being stressful years ago. Wealth is calm energy. When someone has real financial security, you feel it. No stress, no proving, no performing. Just quiet confidence that everything is handled. When someone is broke pretending to be wealthy, you feel that too. Loud energy, need for validation, anxiety disguised as confidence. A person constantly posting about their blessed life and expensive purchases is trying to convince themselves as much as you. A real wealthy person posts maybe 3 times yearly, and it's usually pictures of a sunset or a dog. Not because they have a boring life, because they have a private life. They don't need to perform for strangers. Loud equals insecure and broke. Quiet equals secure and wealthy. Watch how someone reacts when an expensive, unexpected thing happens. A broke person panics, complains, stresses visibly, and makes it everyone's problem. A wealthy person handles it calmly, doesn't mention it to anyone, pays, and moves on. That reaction reveals financial reality more than any other indicator. Someone with 40,000 saved is constantly stressed about money. Complained about gas prices, discussed every purchase, panicked when the car needed $1,200 in repairs. After 8 years grinding to $220,000, still complained, still stressed about unexpected expenses, even though I could easily afford them. The anxiety never left because it was a personality trait, not a financial situation. A friend with 35,000 saved when he started was calm about money from the beginning. Didn't discuss prices, handled unexpected costs without drama, never made money a public topic. After 8 years grinding to $240,000, still completely calm, handled $8,500 roof emergency without anyone knowing it happened. Money stress reveals insecurity regardless of the amount. Money calm reveals security regardless of amount. Build the security, develop the calm. Sign 10. They know true wealth is freedom, not things. Most people collect things thinking that's wealth. Big house, nice cars, designer clothes, expensive watches, luxury vacations. They accumulate possessions, believing that's what success looks like. But all those things are just things. They don't create freedom. They create obligations, payments, maintenance, insurance, worry, attachment. Real wealth is the accumulation of things. Real wealth is freedom from needing things. Wealth is having options. Wake up and choose how to spend your day. Say no to a toxic job without financial fear. Take 6 months off without stress. Move anywhere for a better opportunity. Start a business with a safety net. Choose work based on meaning, not money. Make decisions based on what you want, not what you need to afford. That's wealth. Everything else is just consumption. Time freedom, location freedom, relationship freedom, career freedom, choice freedom. Those 5 freedoms are what wealth actually provides. A big house provides 0 freedoms. Actually reduces freedoms through payment obligations and location lock-in. Every possession requires money to buy, money to maintain, money to insure, space to keep, attention to manage, and time to care for. Things consume resources. They don't create freedom. Most possessions are actually anti-wealth. They look like success while consuming the resources that create actual success. Rich in things, poor in freedom is still poor. The real wealthy see money as a tool to buy freedom, not a tool to buy things. They invest money in assets that create passive income and options. They don't buy a big house. They buy financial independence. They don't buy a luxury car. They have the ability to walk away from bad situations. A person with 500,000 in possessions and 0 in investments thinks they're wealthy. They have a big house, nice cars, a full closet, and fancy everything. But they're trapped. Can't quit job, can't move, can't take risks, can't miss paycheck without crisis. They're possession rich and freedom poor. That's not wealth. That's expensive prison. A person with 0 in show-off possessions and 500,000 invested is actually wealthy. Looks average, drives an old car, lives simply, but can quit job tomorrow, move anywhere, take any risk, miss 20 paychecks without concern. They're possession poor and freedom rich. That's actual wealth. Real luxury isn't things you own, it's the options you have. Luxury isn't a dollar car. Luxury is not needing a job you hate. Luxury isn't a dollar house. Luxury is choosing where to live based on preference. Things are fake luxury. Freedom is a real luxury. Build wealth that creates options, not possessions that create obligations. True wealth is freedom and optionality, not the accumulation of impressive possessions. So here are the 10 hidden signs of real wealth. They deliberately stay invisible because attention is expensive. They buy time, not luxury. They wait instead of buying immediately, mastering emotional spending. They live well below their means to free up money for investments. They follow the 3E rule, never discussing earnings, expenses, or excess. They're cheap on small repeated things, but generous on big, necessary things. They drive old paid-off cars while building new portfolios. They compare up to stay humble and hungry, not down to feel falsely successful. They're calm about money with no stress or bragging, and they know true wealth is freedom and options, not the accumulation of things. Real wealth whispers, fake wealth screams. Which sign surprised you most? Drop the numbers 1 through 10 below. Subscribe for more truth about real wealth versus perceived wealth. Remember, you can look rich or be rich. The wealthy chose invisible wealth over visible performance. Stop performing, start building. Build freedom in silence while everyone else competes for attention.